Hello and welcome to this special edition of Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Zhu Feng. China's intensifying efforts to boost domestic consumption and enhance consumer confidence. Currently, several emerging trends are transforming China's consumer market. Join us in the next 45 minutes for our special coverage. Share open opportunities, co-create a better life. As we explore these dynamic trends shaping China's consumer landscape and examine how the country's high-level opening up policies are driving momentum in global economic and trade cooperation. The fifth China International Consumer Products Expo concludes today in Hainan province, setting a new record in scale. The event featured around 1,800 companies and 4,200 consumer brands from 71 countries and regions. Several countries made their debut appearances, including Slovakia, Singapore, Brazil, Armenia, and Kazakhstan. The United Kingdom, as guest country of honor, showcased dozens of brands across a sprawling 1,300 square meter area. Beijing City participated as the guest city with the theme "Openness Empowers Beijing's Infinite Charm." The expo attracted approximately 60,000 professional buyers, marking a 10% increase from the previous event. It also hosted 3 supply-demand matchmaking sessions, resulting in 52 potential agreements valued at over 90 billion yuan, or about $13 billion. Now let's go live to my colleague Lincoln Humphreys in Haikou. Lincoln has been reporting on this is China International Consumer Products Expo. Lincoln, you've been in Haikou for almost a week. What are your overall impressions of this year's Hainan Expo?
Thank you very much, Zhu Feng. Lovely to be with. I was always here coming from lovely, sunny Haikou. The luscious flavours of Haikou and Hainan will linger in my mouth for many months to come. It has been a consumption expo and I have been consuming some wonderful, wonderful things here in Hainan. Now, I've got 3 words for you. Lao Ba Cha, old dad tea. It has been a feature of my week here. The very first full day we had here, I jumped aboard the big pink Lao Ba Cha bus and we did a wonderful sightseeing tour of Haikou and saw some of the sights and tasted many of the delights and really enjoyed talking to the locals aboard the bus there. Got a little bit of local music from the local ethnic group as well. So a real feast for the senses, and that was my first taste of Lao Ba Cha. And then we managed to go later in the week down to a Lao Ba Cha restaurant, and that was absolutely packed. Local consumption insofar as food retail is concerned is looking very, very strong, and the food was wonderful. A lot of tropical flavours coming through, a lot of coconut and pandan flavours, various meats, fried chicken. I had an absolute ball. Now, it's old dad tea, Lao Ba Cha, but it's not just for old dads. It's a tradition of the senior citizens of around Hainan and Haikou, and they do not have good times. So I was impressed to see a lot of young families, a lot of kids there enjoying themselves. So it is something fun for the whole family. To the expo itself, there was a vast array of products, a really impressive amount of scale, 8 big exhibition halls, further stuff off-site as well. Now, from the fine art to fine fashion, fine jewellery, as well as flying machines. I was super interested to see the developing economy in the low-altitude economy here in Hainan. They've got a 3-year plan they're working towards here to develop that low-altitude economy, specifically in Hainan, because the weather's pretty excellent for flying, as you can see. Now, I've got some numbers here for you about what they're looking to do at the culmination of that 3-year plan, which will be next year. They want 200 enterprises, 300 low-altitude air routes specifically, 500 takeoff and landing sites, and an industry scale of 30 billion yuan is what they're aiming for. At the expo, we had some big players there. Sichuan Tengdeng Sci-Tech Innovation Co. They've tested a cargo drone with a 2-ton payload capacity. Ehang Holdings are developing passenger-carrying drones. And Phoenix Wings, which is a unit of SF Express. Now, they've developed already. They've got deliveries of fruit crossing across provincial borders. So how do you like them airdropped apples? Finally, looking forward to next year is something that really stayed with me in terms of the vision people have for Hainan. Of course, at the end of this year, they're looking at that free trade port coming into action by the end of 2025. In 2026, DFS, duty-free shoppers. I spoke to Nancy Liu, who is the China president of DFS. The Yalong Bay, DFS Yalong Bay Sanya Development. It is a 7-star luxury retail and entertainment precinct. Now, LVMH is the parent company of DFS. I spoke to their China president as well, Andrew Wang. great to hear his vision for Hainan, building an ecosystem of retail here. That development is massive. Hard to really overstate how big that will be for DFSN, for Hainan and for LVMH. Industry estimates put the total cost at more than $1 billion US, but they are expecting by 2030 to have 16 to 18 annual visitors there. That means thousands of jobs and thousands of yuan coming into Hainan. So much to look forward to. I've really enjoyed the week. The sun is beating down. We're actually just outside our hotel. The pool's just over there, so I'm going for a swim. Thank you very much, John Fong.
You know what? I did that when I was there. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Lincoln Humphreys from Haikou. As Lincoln enjoyed Lao Ba Cha, our old dad tea in Haikou, AI-powered wearable devices are a major highlight of the Haikou Expo. Visitors are eagerly exploring high-tech booths to experience these innovative products firsthand. Our reporter Hou Jing is on site to take us through the cutting edge of digital technology, showcasing advancements in visuals, sound, and even scent.
Hainan Expo 2025, here I am.
Reporting tasks for big events like the Hainan Expo are the most time-stringent. Smart devices can significantly enhance efficiency. However, a smartphone and a smartwatch are not enough. I need something more.
A pair of glasses, a pair of earbuds, a camera, and an AI assistant. Now you may have them all in one. You can also take pictures of what you see with this AI glasses. My cameraman is always taking pictures of me. Now I'm going to use these AI glasses to take a picture of him. Okay, Rixiang, thumbs up. This picture is over here.
Our assistant is named Rokid. You can say, Rokid, check my schedule for today, or you can ask, Rokid, what is in front of me, because our product is equipped with a camera that functions like your eyes.
For me, earphones are not just for entertainment. More importantly, they enhance my work efficiency. So I'm quite peculiar about my ear buddies. Besides sound quality and other high-tech features, convenience is another crucial factor to consider. I was on a quest at the expo to find a smart option.
We have incorporated an AI-based smart recognition feature into our product. This allows the earphones to be worn without distinguishing between the left and right ear, making it convenient to put on at any time. Secondly, considering that most people use earphones for calls, we have added an AI-based noise cancellation feature to ensure a clearer call experience.
Have you ever experienced how smell can form deeper memories than some other sensations?
Please give me a scent of the sea.
We have developed a terminal device that converts digital signals into reproducible, detectable odor molecules. We refer to this process as the digitization of scent. Humans are capable of identifying and perceiving over 10,000 different types of odors. To date, we have completed the encoding of more than 3,000 basic scents at the foundational level.
With the debut of more high-tech wearable devices, the Hainan Expo is becoming not only more open to the physical world, but also to the digital world. Hou Jing, CGTN in Haikou, Hainan Province.
Since the end of last year, China has introduced a series of policies aimed at boosting consumption and strengthening domestic demand. Joining us in the studio is Aaron Liu, who will provide more details on impressive results these policies have achieved so far.
All right, Junfeng. So first, China this year already has been taking strong steps to stimulate consumption and boost demand. Here's a quick look at the measures. Late last year, the Central Economic Work Conference set a 2025 goal to boost consumption and improve investment efficiency. The plan includes raising incomes for lower and mid-income groups, increasing pensions and enhancing medical subsidies. It also aims to diversify shopping experiences and promote emerging trends such as the debut economic and the ice snow economy. This year, the government's work report at the two sessions highlighted boosting consumption as the top priority. Efforts include improving wage growth mechanisms to increase earnings, establishing a 300 billion yuan special fund to support the replacement of old consumer goods with new ones, and developing more shopping and entertainment venues. The report also promotes digital, green, and smart products, alongside optimizing vacation and debit-free shopping policies to attract more tourists spending with China. So next is about the recently boosting consumption special action plan was issued. First, the special action plan for the replacing old consumer goods with new ones, and it supports replacing outdated consumer goods, especially high-value items like cars and home appliances, and includes subsidies for new mobile phones, tablets, and smartwatches. The plan also aims to enhance the second-hand market through pilot projects. The results so far are encouraging. In the first quarter of this year, retail sales of consumer goods rose by 4.6% year-on-year, 1.1 percentage points higher than last year. Products such as electric bicycles, mobile phones, and smart devices are performing well. These policies have not only accelerated consumption growth, but also driven consumption upgrading and transformation. For instance, green consumption is emerging as a new trend. In January and February, appliances with grade 1 energy efficiency accounted for 80% of total appliance sales, reflecting strong demand for eco-friendly and low-carbon products. That's all from me. Back to you, Junfeng.
Thank you very much for that introduction. That's Aaron Liu for us. For more on China's efforts to boost consumption, earlier we talked to JLL's head of retail research. He explained how these pro-consumption policies are fueling the retail market and contributing to this broad growth. Take a listen.
We conclude 5 key policies that are driving the China retail market forward. Let me simply break them down. So first is the old for new replacement program. It's a kind of subsidies for the Chinese consumer to swap the old electronic devices, homewares, even cars for newer models and newer goods. The second is about the duty-free economy, which is kind of the key focus for Hainan as well. They are trying to expand the duty-free shopping zone and the retail terminals to boost the consumption in major cities. The third is about the silver economy initiative, tailoring the products and the services for the China's aging population, exploring the incremental demand for consumption. And the fourth is about the retail growth in the lower tier cities, targeting on some smaller cities, even township, counties, with some high-end, higher quality supplies to meet the consumption needs of local people. And the last one, everybody knows about the China travel policies. So altogether, all these policies are fueling the nationwide consumption growth. We've already seen some encouraging and positive results and signals. For example, during the Chinese New Year holiday, the smart devices saw record sales over the past year, such as China's homegrown brands like Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, etc. They have been pretty much keen to expanding their offline presence in the shopping malls over the past few months, according to JL data. So I think the real game changer must be the consumer confidence rebuild. So in the long run, we need to ensure the people to believe their income will keep rising. So should the Chinese family feel more secure about their future earnings, they would spend more at the current moment, whether on the daily basics, travel, or the care for the older people. This is very essential for the China retail market.
By the end of this year, the Hainan Free Trade Port is set to launch its independent customs operation, often referred as an island-wide closure operation. The initiative is a crucial step in a broader strategy to establish Hainan as a premier high-level free trade port by 2050. Let's delve into the specifics of this operation and examine the significant achievements of Hainan Free Trade Port over the past 7 years.
The island-wide closure operation marks a significant milestone for the Hainan Free Trade Port, enhancing its connectivity with the global economy. The operation is designed to facilitate trade through a system of first-line liberalization, second-line control, and island-wide freedom. First-line liberalization allows Hainan to open up to international markets, enabling the free flow of goods between the island and countries outside the Chinese mainland. This fosters a high degree of trade freedom, positioning Hainan as a major hub for global commerce. Second-line control ensures that goods entering the Chinese mainland from Hainan are subject to domestic regulations, with additional duties applied as necessary. Island-wide freedom introduces more liberal trade and investment policies within Hainan, creating a highly favorable business environment. The impact of this operation is substantial. Most imported goods entering Hainan are now tariff-free, and goods not on the prohibited list can be freely imported and exported. This leads to increased trade frequency, boosting import and export prosperity. For ordinary consumers, the benefits are clear. Imported goods are available at lower prices due to the absence of duties. Additionally, Hainan has introduced more open visa policies, attracting foreign talent and enhancing business and tourism opportunities. Since its inception in 2018, the Hainan Free Trade Port has made remarkable strides in trade and investment facilitation, cross-border capital flows, personnel mobility, and transportation connectivity. Amidst global economic challenges, Hainan stands as a testament to China's commitment to openness and international economic cooperation.
On the sideline of the Hainan Expo, some enterprises have expressed their strong optimism about the business-friendly policies of the Hainan Free Trade Port. Xu Shaopeng reports.
I'm at Invest in China 2025 Global Industrial Investment Promotion Conference for the Hainan Free Trade Port. As a sub-event to the 5th China International Consumer Products Expo, the conference gathers guests from home and abroad in Hainan, showcasing China's investment opportunities against the backdrop of the development of the Hainan Free Trade Port. Centered on the theme Invest in Hainan, Connect with the World, the conference comprehensively showcased the Hainan Free Trade Port's development achievements, policy advantages, investment opportunities, and business environment to global investors. During the event, a signing ceremony for major projects was held, with 265 projects signed, amounting to about $32 billion. Participating enterprises stated that they will use this conference to deepen cooperation with Hainan, achieving mutual benefits between corporate growth and regional economic prosperity.
Hainan government especially have a free trade zone. It's very good for countries, especially my country, Indonesia and Haikou. I have a partner from Hainan here. We're going to do the fishery business. We're going to invest about $200 million US. Working together.
I believe the investment environment here has become more mature. Investors now have a clearer understanding of policies and market dynamics. The business environment keeps improving. Dozens of projects are currently under discussion, some already signed, including projects worth tens of millions of dollars. We're pushing to finalize more batches by year-end.
The local government has made significant investments in building industrial clusters and enhancing supply chain efficiency. Establishing our operations in Danzhou has greatly reduced the supply chain costs. Additionally, Hainan's talent attraction policies are highly favorable. In the future, we plan to expand further in clean energy and green low-carbon sectors.
Earlier, my colleague Lincoln spoke with Dennis Chen, EY Greater China Consumer Sector Leader, who shared his insights on the significance of Hainan Free Trade Port.
How has the development of the Hainan Free Trade Port influenced investors' decisions to invest or participate in the Chinese market?
We can see that the Chinese government, how determined they are in opening the Chinese market. In this expo, we have all these brands, local brands, multinational brands here talking about collaboration, exploring opportunities going forward, right? And then we've seen a lot of central government's policies supporting this as well. They do welcome the foreign companies to come over, and then set up the companies here, have some presence here in China. So I think it's a great platform.
And how do foreign companies investing in China and rising local consumption help each other?
Well, first of all, it's a huge market here in China. Our consumers are more sophisticated than before. They're not looking for just pricing or the lowest price will win them. They look for quality. They also want to learn what's good overseas, right? They look at all the ingredients, all the functions, etc., or technologies. So I think they're more sophisticated. They've been educated over the past years. So I think these foreign companies coming over to China will definitely help to groom the market in China. We would say that it's upgraded consumption. But at the same time, for the Chinese company here, or the Chinese consumers, they're educating our foreign companies too. They're telling them what they like. They want them to understand them more. They want them to understand the Chinese culture as well. So whoever can meet the consumers' expectations will win in this market.
How does China's opening market affect global trade, and how does it help the world economy to grow?
Once again, the Chinese government is determined to open the market globally. This year is very crucial to Hainan because it's the custom closure year. Right? We know that like some of the companies or big real estate developers are investing in Hainan, like Swire Group. They have the huge shopping center in Sanya, right? So it's a mix of duty-free and then with the non-duty-free goods. How that mixed together in a complex provides people with different shopping experience, stuff like that. Definitely will increase the tourism as well. Right? So through this tourism, which is just part of the reason, that will also boost the consumption.
The Hainan Free Trade Port's promise of zero tariffs and a free flow of goods has already generated significant interest among foreign investors. Business leaders and government officials at the Hainan Expo are emphasizing the importance of the Chinese market and highlighted the island's crucial role in promoting open markets.
The world needs an open China, and of course, China embraces international community as well. Hainan development, everybody is watching. It doesn't matter what industry you are in, and we are in an industry that benefits from open markets. Consumers, Chinese consumers are very important. Hainan is a magnet attracting visitors. Servicing Chinese consumers is always important for all kind of consumer goods companies, domestic and international. So therefore, there's no doubt everybody's interested in the future of Hainan.
There's quite a few Irish companies have invested already in China, and I think they will always be looking for opportunities for potential. And it seems to me, your economic offering here is very good. So yeah, we'll certainly be encouraging people to look at Hainan.
The Chinese market is a very important market for us, and is a market that is keep on evolving. Hainan has been a very good platform for Chinese economy. We believe the importance of China. In fact, we are tailor-made a China in China for China strategy, and we believe that the weight of China is very important, not only at local level but at global level. So that's why we are keep on investing a lot in this country, because we believe a lot in the future that will come in the next coming months and years.
As the Hainan Free Trade Port moves towards customs closure and China expands its opening up policies, Jackie Zhu, head of retail research at JLL China, shared his insights on how these changes will impact international trade patterns and consumer preferences.
We anticipate more processing trade business to be on the forefront to benefit from the policy, and more of such companies are having opportunities to establish local operations in Hainan, leveraging the tariff wave on raw materials all along the supply chain to reduce manufacturing and the logistic cost. As Hainan Free Trade Port continues to develop in future, we are going to witness the growing attraction for both domestic and international business across commodity trade as well as the service trade. For instance, mobile, pharmaceutical, electronic, IT, and trade companies are expected to settle and cluster in Hainan. Furthermore, the headquarter economy is set to undergo a qualitative leap with an increasing number of the multinational corporations choosing Hainan as their regional headquarters due to the preferential tax policies. So especially against the backdrop of the current economic sentiment, as consumers increasingly face budget constraints, they are turning more and more cautious in buying high-price goods. This has led to the global sales pressures for some luxury brands, also some mid to high-end consumption in recent quarters in China. So for most of the international brands, China's consumer market has now been a very strategic battleground and a forefront for global businesses and networking. Therefore, the full implementation of Hainan Free Trade Port policies would serve as the booster shot for global sales of luxury goods. We believe more and more brands will establish the physical stores in Hainan, and particularly opening some maybe the high-profile stores, which will in return drive commercial real estate development in key cities like Haikou and Sanyang.
For 5 consecutive years, the China International Consumer Products Expo has been the stage where global brands and breakthrough innovations meet.
It's where 1.4 billion Chinese consumers and global brands come together,
setting the pace and direction of China's classical market.
Here, iconic labels and emerging players seize unparalleled opportunities,
thriving in an environment powered by vast skill and immense purchasing power.
Join CGTN's coverage at the China International Consumer Products Expo, where the world shops for what's next.
At the 2025 Hainan Consumer Expo, more global brands are entering the Chinese market, attracted by strong alternatives. With trade tensions reshaping supply chain and Hainan zero-tariff policies in effect, China is opening new doors for international suppliers. CGTN's Wan Nanqian has more.
Will Trump's tariffs drama cast a shadow over global trade? A different story unfolds at 5th Hainan Expo. Chinese buyers are now turning to new international suppliers, and American products are no longer the only option.
Since the U.S.-China trade war began in 2018, we have stopped importing American soybeans. In fact, we now have several alternative sources, mainly Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Canada. Thanks to the zero-tariff policy of the Hainan Free Trade Port, our output value this year is expected to exceed 8 billion yuan.
南非红酒绝对能够替代很多欧美，包括美国这一类的好的这种红酒。
South African wine is well positioned to replace many high-quality wines from Europe and the United States. In terms of quality, production standards, processing, and flavor profile, it may even better cater to the preferences of Chinese consumers. We are ready to adapt the realities of U.S.-China trade tensions and confident in our ability to source stronger, more suitable alternatives.
As Chinese buyers seek alternatives beyond traditional U.S. markets, they're not just finding replacements, they're discovering upgrades.
More than 80% of our beef comes from British breeds. Angus and Hereford is very comparable from the breeds from the US and to North Australian. So very high quality product. What really calls the attention of a foreign of Hainan is that it's not only a touristic destination, but an international hub for business. And you can see it in the trade show, you know, wide range of different brands from abroad.
But for now, we brought South African wines to the expo. There's been some wine tastings happening. People have been enjoying. There's been orders that have already now been coming through. So I think wine is going to be definitely one of the biggest products that we would be able to export to China. The trade war that's happening with the USA and a lot of countries, including China, I think that's quite sad to see. I think China has always been open to doing business fair, same as South Africa, just doing business fair and equitable.
At this year's Hainan Expo, we see China diversifying its import sources. It's not just about tariffs, it's a market-driven choice. With Hainan open policies, global suppliers now get better access to the Chinese vast consumer market. Wan Nanqian, CGTN, Haikou, Hainan Province.
Canadian business leaders attending the Hainan Expo said the U.S. tariffs have compelled them to shift their focus towards China and the broader Indo-Pacific region. Many have paused their expansion plans in the U.S. and are now seeking to strengthen cooperation with Chinese partners amid ongoing trade uncertainties.
It's funny because we were planning on introducing our products in the U.S., but we've stopped. And that's why now, because of the tariff talk, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for Canada and China to now start growing together.
Because of this tariff, all the Chinese, our Canadian government is looking into diversification and diversifying the economy, diversifying the businesses, and they are looking into China, the Indo-Pacific region. Very recently, I've been a part of the trade missions into the different Indo-Pacific regions and now into China, and I think the partnerships, the collaborations, and the business opportunities for Canadians with Chinese businesses is going to grow.
China's consumer market is showcasing strong new trends despite global trade uncertainties, with domestic brands taking center stage at this year's Hainan Expo. Guochao products, or China's trendy homegrown brands, have become a highlight, attracting both local and international buyers. These brands are gaining momentum, especially in emerging markets. According to iMedia research, China's Guochao market exceeded 2 trillion yuan sales, or about $278 billion in 2023, and is projected to surpass 3 trillion yuan by 2028. In 2024 consumer survey reviews that key drivers behind this growth are 48.5% of buyers that are drawn to Chinese-style designs, 44% of them support domestic brands due to increased confidence, while others appreciate traditional aesthetics, high value, and cultural values these brands present. Many consumers also choose Guochao products for their unique cultural stories, fashionable style, and reliable services. For more insights on how the Chinese current tariff tensions with the U.S. and also how it's affecting Chinese enterprises, I'd like to bring Chen Jiahe, Chief Investment Officer at Nova Arcane Technologies. While Jiahe, now tariffs with U.S. tariffs pushing some Chinese exporters to focus on domestic sales, what strategies can help them successfully enter the Chinese mass market and grow here?
Hi, Junfeng. Yes, you can. You're asking a very important question. With the tariff war ongoing, Chinese companies who used to export a lot to the U.S. market are starting to look for alternatives. This basically includes two strategies. One is expanding into other markets such as Southeast Asia, Europe, etc. And the second one is re-entering the Chinese market, as you said. For entering the Chinese market, this is a relatively easier task because most of the exporters are already having quite many businesses in China. And the trade war not only excluded their export to the U.S., it also reduced their pressure from the U.S. competitors in China. For example, I've just been studying the auto tire industry. Chinese companies export a lot of their products to the U.S., but the U.S. companies also export quite a lot to China. And most of the export from the U.S. is taking the higher end of the industry. So this share is now left for the local companies, which of course they have to grab with better quality as well as redesigning to make the product more fitting for domestic consumers. But basically speaking, it is not that hard for them to win the local markets. It just takes a while to shift.
Now, trade-in programs have obviously boosted consumption of home appliances and electronics. I myself took advantage of those subsidies, and I think I saved a couple of thousands purchasing a few items like TVs, washing machines, and lights. Now, if tariffs continue, what additional policy measures might be introduced to stimulate Chinese consumption?
Yes, the trading program has been helping the domestic consumption a lot, alongside the direct consumption subsidy given to consumers. I can personally feel that as well. I mean, the help of these policies. Recently, I just bought quite a lot of products, and each time I got a subsidy or trading coupon that counts between 15% to 25% of the total cost.
Right.
This really stimulates the consumption, you know. And with the e-commerce, you don't even have to apply for these things. The subsidies just come when you make the payment. Besides these policies, China is also doing many other things to stimulate the consumption. the income rising has been paid with quite a lot of attention, as well as the employment rate. Many efforts have also been conducted to build a better social health care system. The pension for retired people is also rising area. Don't even mention that because China's inflation is now around 0%. This means the central bank has a large room to inject the liquidity into the economy without the worrying of inflation. This room for monetary policy can be a very strong support to the consumption.
Right. Now we see a new trend, the consumption of products reflecting China style or guochao of Chinese tradition. And that trend is rising. How can businesses turn this trend into a sustainable and serious market opportunity?
Yes, there are many more products in China that is having the elements of Chinese culture today, and businesses they have to grab this trend. To do this, there are many things that they can do. First of all, businesses have to invest a lot into the research and development. This includes many parts, such as hiring artists in the product designing department, ask the market research team to put focus on the culture part, etc. Second, they really have to put attention on the feedback of consumers. Because this trend is pretty new in China, not many people have a lot of related experience. So the feedback from consumers is vital to the success. Finally, there is the cost control. I mean, if you can create very good product if you don't care about the cost at all, like the kings and queens did before. But modern business is always about cost. So finding the economic value with a logical consideration of cost is also critical.
Right. Cost and quality, or we must consider that. Now, how can these products expand beyond, the tangible products like clothing? We've seen, nice girls wearing traditional, old-style Chinese clothing, and food and souvenirs. Those magnets on those fridges. How can we also expand to service-oriented offerings? I understand you have experience with traditional Chinese swords. You have a collection of swords. You wave those swords or practice swordsmanship. So tell us how this services expenditure can be boosted.
Well, yes, I'm personally practicing a lot of traditional martial arts, including, sword, as you said, spear, archery, etc. You can find that many China style is not very well commercialized because we have got a shorter history of market economy. Just to compare China's traditional martial arts with kendo and fencing, you can see the different levels of development. So to grow the China-style products into things far beyond food and clothing, there is a long way to go. Take the martial arts as a sport, for example. We have to dig out the traditional techniques. We have to standardize them, which is very important. We have to fix them into a series of clear rules and products that can be easily followed by someone who have no experience before or some foreigners who can't even speak Chinese. So there are really a lot of jobs that we have to do. It is not only about the culture. It is more about a culture that can fit into today's economy.
Yeah, transformation from culture to standards to regulation. Thank you so much. That's Shen Jiahe join us. This year's HICO Expo shines a spotlight on Chinese brands that are driving growth through innovation, cultural heritage, and advanced technology. These homegrown companies are not only transforming the domestic market, but also earning increasing recognition on the global stage. Yu Hongyu reports on how these brands are making a significant impact worldwide.
Feel the buzz? That's the sound of Chinese brands taking center stage at the Hainan Expo. With participation spanning more than 30 provinces and dozens of major cities, the sheer scale is very impressive. Established players like Bloomage see technology as their edge. Chairperson and CEO Zhao Yan emphasizes building technology at home to stay competitive in the global market.
To truly build brands that resonate today, both at home and abroad, we must ask, what's our advantage against global giants? I believe it's technology. Forging strong Chinese brands, earning the trust of our own consumers first. That's the bedrock for winning global respect.
And it's not just the heavyweights throwing punches. Startups and niche creators are riding the wave, proving that cultural connection and innovation can be a killer app. These translation glasses, for instance, have been drawing crowds, demonstrating practical tech with global appeal.
It's very good because I've been here for past few months
Yep.
And language barrier is one of the biggest we find in China, and it really helps a lot, really do. And I will definitely purchase it.
We have already did a great job in overseas market. Yeah, I mean this one is available in US, Euro, and Japan.
Yep.
And we are also like trying to see if we can get into more market this year.
And celebrating this blend of heritage and modernity, a dedicated zone showcases China's traditional brands, demonstrating how classic names are reinventing themselves for today's market. Leveraging the unique advantages of the Hainan Free Trade Port, this expo acts as a crucial gateway. Even global retail veterans are taking note of the shift.
China's evolution, the Chinese brands, the Guocao brands, their manufacturing is really honed to perfection. There's a high level of precision, high degree of manufacturing. Not only are we importing brands into China, we're also exporting the Guocao Chinese brands overseas.
The Hainan Expo is ground zero for witnessing China's creative consumer force. Chinese brands are here, bringing swagger, substance, and a world of opportunity.
If you want to understand the trend, follow the money. The Consumer Expo offers a window into the spending habits of the Chinese. Before we wrap up this edition of Global Business, let's check out what young attendees are willing to spend on today. I'm Zhu Jifeng in Beijing. Thanks for watching this special edition of Global Business, focusing on Hainan Expo and China consumption. Bye for now.
可爱的 IT 实用的垃圾，情绪价值。
为了自己的喜好吧，然后还有一些比较科技方面的东西。
我现在更愿意为兴趣消费，比如说从旅行的这个角度去讲的话，我现在可能会为了去看一场球赛，我去贵州去看村超；我可能为了吃一碗好吃的东西，然后我去成都。当下消费大家最看重的一点就是体验感。
我觉得现在年轻人更专注于个性化。 像 Z 时代和年轻白领，他们更追求一些内心的表达。第一次来到海口的时候，大家对于我们这些产品来说，可能还觉得很奇怪。然后我们第二次来到海口，大家很欣然接受，觉得很有创意。